I figured. Oh, how he doing? Shit. How you feeling? I'm not worried about the PS5. I'm not worried about the PS5. I'm not worried about it. The fish, right? Hey, I told you that fish is good. I gonna get it too, but you know, I mean, I'm not in a hurry. Did you get a what's he say?
You could have stopped all this days ago. Which was, for example, you deny his own team authorization right now as we're in the
fuck.
Biden, on the other hand, cybersecurity priority. And this is everything that we're seeing right now in real time. That can't happen.
What? Who? Tell who?
I mean, Biden said that he is getting briefed on the cyber attack, but there's been some.
Oh, I told him.
Reporting regarding the.
Hang on.
Well, Biden's post-election transition got off to a late start because Trump failed.
No, let me get your pie code. Send me your pie code and I'll send it to him.
Which is the prerequisite for the post-election phase of the transition was delayed. Now, even
send me your pie code. I'll send him your pie code, and then he can add. And he can add you.
We have reports that Biden's transition personnel were delayed in terms of accessing intelligence entities controlled by the Pentagon. And last week, the acting Secretary of Defense stopped transition meetings, citing a mutually agreed upon holiday break. The transition team denied any such agreement. Overall, Biden's transition team is losing critical time. It's even more worrisome based on the fact that the Pentagon is targeted in this most recent fight.
Yeah, and then I sent to him.
The team needs more information, not less. Unfortunately, a lot of the members of Biden's transition team, their seasoned experts, has actually mitigate some of the damage. But overall, Emma, it certainly looks like Trump and some of his loyalists
Oh, you want?
to disadvantage Biden on day one.
What? Say about what? He said he knew you were gonna get it. He knew you were gonna get it. He was not surprised. He was surprised to hear what I said. That you got a turtle fish. He was not surprised. But I was surprised though. I was kind of surprised you got one, Waver. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wasn't like surprised, but when you said you got the turtle fish, I'm like, huh? You got a turtle fish? I was like, what? No way. Because I thought you said, when you said, guess what? I thought you said you got a PS5. I was like, you got a PS5? That's why I thought. That's why I thought, because you said, guess what? You said, yeah, you said, guess what? Well, you said, guess what? I said, well, I said, you got a PS5? And you said, no, I got a fish. I'm like, oh.
This is the way this city works. Burn him out!
I need some help. But like I said, oh wait, get the 09 part too. I gotta re-get mine this year. I gotta re-get my 09. I'm gonna buy me a car probably sometime next year and put my 09 phone there. That way, you can you will have have 09, and whatever game you get, let me know. I'll probably get it myself. What game you gonna get next, Way? Well, let me know what game you get, Way, because I get it and I pay with you.
What have you done? Murder in the house of God.
These men were criminals, Fred. Thieves.
Huh?
Rapists. Killers.
I'm gonna get me in.
Embraced. They'd ask for forgiveness. Now, which one of these men might have sought redemption by working with the poor? Which one might have saved just one life?
None of us, Father.
331
You bastard.
meaning 1 in 1,000 Americans.
If you have any confessions to make, you better do it quick.
No more bloodshed, please!
The vaccine is here, but it's
sorry.
not being administered as quickly
Consider this
as
Yeah, send me your friend code and then when you send me that, I'll send the book of Lima.
the vaccination, though nearly 10 million doses have been in 2020. We witnessed
That make us even.
world-changing, paradigm-shifting events. From
Sure.
the coronavirus pandemic, an
For
economic
now.
crisis, a social justice movement to a historical presidential election. CNN
For your trouble, Father.
I don't want your blood money.
We took theirs. Not a lot of difference from where I'm standing. There should be enough dough to patch up the bullholes and keep you quiet.
When the cops come, you tell them the gunman who did this had East Coast accents. Must have been from out of town, right?
I won't lie. But I won't say anything at all.
Good. Be a shame if we had to come back here.
Where the hell were you?
As soon as I walked in the church, Victor recognized me. Followed me straight back down.
We're on the no.
Same place as all these guys.
Come on,
we gotta go.
The U.S. still hasn't recovered all those jobs, and hiring is now growing again.
Thank you all.
The historic lawsuit prompts a historic response.
The motion is adopted.
The government passing an unheard of $2 trillion relief package back in March. This is the largest aid package in history. The government enhanced unemployment benefits, extended stimulus checks for families, and loans for hard-hit industries. But there was a catch. All measures have expiration dates. Small businesses said PPP loans ran out fast if they managed to secure one at all. The first round sent tens of billions of dollars to bigger publicly traded companies like Potbelly, Lipstick, and Shake Shack. All three later returned the money. As unemployment rate expired, Americans lined up at Tuesday in September. There used to be about 50,000 families a month. Now it's over 100,000 a month. And eviction moratoriums throughout rent forgiveness became a sticky contract. Evictions are about to skyrocket. 200 eviction orders have come to the households for this week. Experts warned for months that more stimulus was needed, but congressional gridlock kept the New Deal in limbo. Meanwhile, that economic pain stalled growth.
The second quarter was the worst quarter in terms of GDP action in American history.
And even with a record summer bounce back, we're still not back to levels that we were at before the COVID crisis hit. The pandemic essentially froze the economy. Americans largely stopped eating in restaurants, attending movies, live events, and traveling. leading to some big losses. Two airlines, American and United, announced that they're laying off a combined 32,000 employees.
Marriott says that the financial impact of this pandemic is worse than 9/11 and the 2008 financial crisis combined.
Homebound Americans fueled an online shopping spree, helping behemoths like Amazon while devastating brick and mortar.
J. Crew becomes the first major retailer to file for bankruptcy protections as a result
Yeah, your fan
of
code.
the outrage.
Your fan
Lord
code.
Taylor, the nation's first department store.
Yeah, your fan code. That's it. Okay, it's 349. Wait. Let me see what mine is.
And Nintendo, and a new breed of essential worker as millions stay home. Millions are out risking exposure to the virus on the front lines.
Let me see what mine is.
Helped keep the economy afloat in 2020. Amid the pandemic, the death of George Floyd in police custody in May sparked protests over racial justice and a racial reckoning.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, 34902523425. Okay.
While others retired problematic logos. The Aunt Jemima brand will
I text Walter Beamer. I sent it to him.
acknowledging its racist past. Minority and low-wage
Don't bring
workers
the
also bore
coffee.
the brunt of job and income losses this year. Meanwhile, stock market thrived. There was a big plunge in March. Trading has stopped because we've seen a drop of 7%, ending in a bear market.
Today didn't turn out like I expected.
Buoyed by government stimulus, explosive rallies in stay-at-home stocks and big tech, and the Federal Reserve. This is the historic
Whatever you did at the cat house got the cops plenty pissed. Yeah, it was messy, but I got everything done. Everything? Yeah.
The vaccines and more stimulus will trigger a rebound. Can the economy turn around in 2021? After a year of historic losses, next year can only be better, but it may be a dark winter before we get there.
They giving up yet? I don't think so. They must have called out every cop in the city.
For me, I'm Emerald Walker in Atlanta. Dana Bash picks up her coverage after a quick break.
2020, a year like no other. Brought to you by
Search is called up. Proceed to abandon search.
Okay. We lost. Thank Christ. Gonna be trying to forget today for a long time. You're telling me. Let's get back to the bar. We gotta lie low. Way this all went down? The priest will keep his trap shut. Don't worry. Morello got a bloody nose, and you and Polly are in the clear for whacking Galati's son. Boss will be pleased.
Over $200 million to national and hometown charities who will sue for Chevrolet. Hit 30% for 63 months, and Subaru will donate $250 to charity. And what's inside Airborne? A proactive immune support that's more than just vitamin C. It's a unique crafted blend of vitamins, zinc, other minerals, and others. Take on your day with Airborne, your daily dose of confidence.
Here's USAA made for. It's made for this guy. Better original served. And it's made for her. She's serving them. We made it for all branches and all ranks, whether they serve one tour or many career. We also make USAA for military spouses and their kids. USAA is easy to work. Save you money on auto, home, and breakfast insurance. Become a member today. Call us for a quote. USAA, which are made on.
They told us that selling cars was 100% bottom line wouldn't work. So we went to work. Building an experience that lets you shop over 17,000 cars from home. Creating a coast-to-coast network to deliver your car as soon as tomorrow. Recruiting an army of customer advocates to make your experience incredible. And putting you in control of the whole thing with powerful technology. That's why we've become the nation's fastest growing retailer. Because our customers love it. See for yourself at Carvana.com.
My kids, they know I'm a scientist. But it's hard to...
Thanks again, Sam, for helping me out back there. I thought my time was up. It's not anything you wouldn't do for me. I know. But when you come that close to biting me, Christ, it's something. Don't need to tell me about that. Just don't think about it. Best lesson I could ever teach you. Don't think about anything.
When they're sick, they get comfortable anywhere and spread germs everywhere. Wherever they rest, protection. Nothing kills more viruses, including the COVID-19 virus, on more surfaces than Lysol disinfectant spray. Lysol, what it takes to protect.
Jesus Christ, Tommy. You're confessing to a shootout in a church. And I ain't even to the hard stuff yet. You know, I can take you in right now, put you behind bars until you're old and gray. Maybe. If you think you can make any of it stick. But then you'd never know about Morello.
Hey, fellas, sorry to keep you waiting. My shift just started. What you having?
2 lunch specials, please. And more coffee. You know what? Let's bring the whole pot. All right, we've come this far together. What kind of heat did you get from the church?
It's a strange thing. Nothing really came of it. I just figured Celia would pay off someone somewhere because it wasn't even in the papers. I was at the lay low for 7, 8 months. The cops kept showing up at the bar just to remind us they were watching. And Frank caught wind that Morello was helping Galati get reelected, hoping he'd go after the dime.
I recovered some account books from Morello's offices. Said the trade was a pretty big year for him.
Guess the knew we were bleeding out before we did. While we were busy keeping our heads down, he started moving in on our rackets. Quiet at first, a few trucks going missing. Doc Burner has one too many highballs, drives off a bridge. Other regular pickups, closes up shop, moves upstate.
You didn't catch on?
Not me. I think maybe Paul is small. But even with the cops looking over our shoulders and Morello circling, we were still making good money. And with the Don worried about keeping the heat off, we didn't have much to do, except drink and laughs. By the time I went to Celio's, there was Sarah. So it was a good year. Until Frank.
Coletti, Don's disappeared.
Yeah, that's right. He set me straight. He set us all straight.
There's a lot of buzz around town about you guys.
Yeah, we got into a little scrap last night. It's no big deal.
I don't care about a bar fight, Tom. I care how it looks when you walk into a club and buy everyone around.
Now we got to something, though.
Then blow it at the track on Sunday. Or take a dame to a show. Or invest it for Christ's sake.
Want to become one of those Wall Street boys?
Don't be sassy, Tommy.
I can't come in the kitchen.
I'm trying to teach you the ropes. So you don't get strangled by them.
Maybe I come in and cut me a piece of your hair.
You ever have a dog, Tommy?
Sure. But when I was a kid.
When I was 8 or 9, before I came over from the Sicily, I had this beautiful skinny Cerneco dell'Etna. Like a little gray, fastest dog you've ever seen.
A white nigga.
That's how I met the Don. We started setting up races together. Betting on coins and rifle shots. There wasn't another dog that could catch her. She never missed. Until the day she did. We were only out the pocket knife, but I never saw the Don so angry.
She got old on you?
No. Pregnant. She went into heat, got out of the yard, and every dog in town had a turn. You're like that dog, Tommy. Every time you flash your money around, you're a bitch in heat. And everyone in that club is now looking to fuck you. And once you get fucked, you're no good to us. Do you understand?
You made your point.
Good. Because you need to think about your career here. Look, Paulie's at his ceiling. He's the guy we want in a tussle, but he's not smart enough to run anything. Sam is loyal, but he has no vision. But you, Tommy.
Yeah, I'm alone.
and a lot of information.
I appreciate that, Frank.
Excellent reporting as
So,
always. Thank you. We'll be back to you through the evening.
What happened to the dog?
And Natasha Chen, who was outside the house that investigators
The dog tried to drown her.
Natasha, what are you learning there?
I broke his nose.
Anna, well, the investigators just left this scene not more than 15 minutes ago. But we've been here about 3 hours. The entire time they were working here.
You said it, my
we
best.
understand from neighbors, there were people here working at this property pretty much all day. From what we saw, the FBI actually told us that this was court-authorized activity happening at this property. And first, we saw bomb technicians really clear this property, make sure it was safe to enter. And then an evidence team came in and spent several hours going through the property, documenting things, photographing things. I know it's dark and a little bit difficult to see, but right behind me is a fence right here. And they did go inside the fence area where there's a yard, in and out of the entrance to the side there. And so they spent a lot of time taking whatever they could find inside the house. First, as we understand, photographing and documenting their space inside the home, and then taking out bags of evidence throughout the afternoon. So from talking to neighbors, speaking of that RV that Shimon was discussing, a lot of them told me that yes, they did see an RV parked right here on the property. Some of them said they saw it over the summer. Some say that they saw it within the last few weeks. One neighbor said, however, that it was not parked here in the last few days. And when we showed them Google Street Views of this property with the RV there, they recognized that as the same one. And as Shimon was discussing, law enforcement officials believe that this could be connected, but it's hard to make 100% accurate connection with the RV parked downtown because, of course, that one was so severely destroyed in the explosion down. Thank you so much for that reporting. And joining me now is Andrew McCabe. He is a senior analyst and, of course, former director of the FBI. Andrew, thank you so much for joining me on this Christmas weekend. Appreciate it. You just heard those two reports from Shimon and Natasha. Take me inside what would be an FBI investigation. What does that reporting tell you about where the investigation is headed?
So, Dan, it tells us what we thought about this time yesterday, which was that the vehicle, the RV,
Thanks for waiting.
easy to identify.
Don and I had to go over last month's numbers again. Sure. So what's the job? I want you to help Sam and Paulie with the shipment we've got coming in tonight. Good stuff. Straight from Canada. Where do you need me? Sam's going to meet our friends from the north at the farm outside of town. Paulie will oversee the trucks bringing the shipment into the city, but I want you to go with him. Be an extra pair of eyes. Make sure it all goes smoothly. Okay. Get the car from Ralphie. Meet Paulie at the warehouse. He's got heaters in case you run into any trouble. Sure, Frank. No problem. Now bring the Canadian home safely. There is already a case earmarked for the dog.
Comes back to that residence, and they have a fair, facts indicating that the person who lives in that residence is involved in this bombing. The fact that they're there executing a search warrant on the site also indicates to me that they're pretty confident that the person they're looking for is not going to be coming back to that residence, certainly not while they're there. So all those things put together could lead us to assume that the FBI currently thinks that the bomber or the person from that residence was involved in this attack, and that person is likely no longer with us.
And you heard Shimon talking about the fact that the FBI knows quite a bit about this individual even before going into his house. It's 2020, so a lot of information online, even to the public, and I'm sure accessible even more so to the FBI. So talk about that, about what kinds of information you think they are trying to find about this individual who allegedly was behind this apparent suicide bombing.
Of course. So once you have a person, you
then begin to construct a narrative of their life. We refer to it as a timeline, but it is essentially trying to rebuild everything about them, everything they did, everyone they talked to, every place they went in the hours before the attack and the days before that, the weeks and months and years leading up to the attack. And by painstakingly recreating that person's history, by searching their residence and looking at pieces of physical evidence that they were living with, by looking at their social media presence if they had one, by looking at the browser history on computers or laptops or cell phone, cell phones that they might have had. By looking at things that were in their residence that they may have read, or books they checked out at the library, or magazines they subscribed to, or those sorts of things. They are looking to know as much about that person and everyone they interacted with, because your primary concern, even at this point in investigation, you feel like you have someone identified, is was there anyone else working with them? Was there someone who gave them money, assistance, someone who helped them plan for it, trained to build this device? Could there be a follow-on attack? And I have to say, the FBI has been very clear that they do not believe that there is any ongoing threat. So it's an indicator of high confidence that they're locked on the person they think is responsible.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask. I mean,
oh, man.
Of any sources that's not really happening. So that suggests that they believe, at least right now, that this was a one-off and not necessarily connected to, another individual or individuals or organizations.
There's been no indication from them that they're looking for, a group of people or another person. But I can tell you from my experience of investigating many of these sorts of attacks, that's the thing that's in the back. We want to, for tactical reasons, to know if there's anyone else out there that you need to be worried about. And also for reasons of justice. You want to make sure that anyone else who might be worried about this or assisted in any way is roped into your case and held accountable for their involvement in this incredibly dangerous activity.
Morello's taking bites out of business everywhere else, Ralph.
Thank you so much for your expertise.
Booze rackets where we shine.
Later,
Stay ahead
talk about a whole different issue. So stick around. Thank you so much, Andrew. And when we come back, millions of Americans are at risk of losing benefits after the $900 billion coronavirus relief bill hits a major roadblock. And that roadblock is President Trump. More ahead.
These days, we need more than education.
Now brings you a special weather report. The heavens are open, and we're experiencing some adverse effects across the municipal area. The large storm front, not expected to arrive for several days, hit Lost Heaven late this afternoon, releasing a deluge of rainfall on the city. If you've been out in the last couple of hours, you don't need me to tell you. There are reports coming in of a number of traffic accidents attributed to the downpour, with fender benders occurring in Oakwood and Chinatown. A more serious accident has occurred near the White Harbor Hotel, which is causing traffic to back up on the East Marshall Bridge all the way into downtown. The police department is attending
Send me some of them.
they can, but they've now issued advice that people should not venture out on the roads unless they're
I'm too full to eat anything right now.
Oh,
yeah.
So however a good driver you may be,
But I'll probably get some later.
Got me some chips, go with my cake.
Like this. In addition to the problems we've been hearing of on the road, air traffic in and out of the city has been suspended by order of the aviation authorities. All scheduled flights departing Lost Heaven International have been grounded, and those scheduled to arrive into that airport have been canceled or diverted elsewhere. Now, as bad as that may sound, the latest report from the Weather Service that I've just been handed states that although the rain is heavy at this moment, and that all warnings should be heeded, the storm isn't expected to last all that long. Certainly, it doesn't seem like it will be anything like the big one in 1927. High winds are pushing the storm over us at quite a rate. We will, of course, keep you informed with news on the hour. But before I return you to our musical programming, let me reiterate that the Lost Heaven Police Department strongly advises against motor travel at this time. And on a personal note, I advise staying with your family, friends, or loved ones and waiting out this dreadful storm in the warmth of the home. That's all for now. Some music will be along shortly, and I'll be back to check in with you later. Thank you for listening. This is the WLH Nighttime section broadcasting on 5:70 a.m. Stay tuned for more as we head on into the wee hours. Coming up next, more carefully selected music.
On this Saturday night, one day after Christmas, at least 12 million struggling Americans are hours away from a new COVID disaster. Without the new unemployment benefits, $600 direct payment, and eviction protection, President Trump is refusing to sign the $900 billion bipartisan stimulus bill that the president's own team has cracked. Among those now urging President Trump to take action before it's too late is the man who's just weeks away from replacing him, President-elect Joe Biden. Meanwhile, funding for the U.S. government is set to expire at midnight Monday, and while all of this is happening, the president is on vacation in Florida. CNN's Jeremy Diamond is traveling with the president in Florida. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me. So, what are you hearing from the sources about what the president is doing and what he is going to do about this legislation?
You know this place?
Yeah. We've done a few pickups at the farm before. Don't worry. Here ain't nothing but cow shit inside out here. It's gonna be an easy few clams. Load up the trucks, come straight back.
Yeah, let's make it quick. I got someplace to be.
You see the salad. Luigi's little girl, your night shift. Here's something else, pal. Protecting the girl's virginity one day and taking it the next.
Lay off, Dory.
Come on. I'm just kidding. She's a good girl. You settle down, she'll straighten you right out.
Then you should have gotten involved before this legislation. The president only objected to this and made clear that he wouldn't.
I wonder what kind of story she could tell about her old man, though. He was a stone cold killer back in the day.
With the endorsement of his own administration and the involvement of his Treasury Secretary Steve.
You know she's been helping out behind the bars since she was a kid.
Off the sidelines, and now
Bet she's seen and heard a few things.
Could be putting tens
Probably
of
knows more
millions
about
of
our business
Americans
than we
deeper
do.
into financial
enough not
One
to
of
ask
the
me
reasons
too
for
many
that, the
questions.
president does not sign this legislation
That's good.
tonight. About 12
She won't ever make a liar.
Americans will lose the supplemental
Christ.
unemployment benefits this very week.
Go to marry her for that.
$300 federal boost to the unemployment fund that
Damn it.
Americans already get. And you've got several other
Sam should be waiting here, but I don't see it.
If the president doesn't sign the legislation by then,
Smells
we will
off.
face a government shutdown.
Don't let your pecker get all shriveled up.
And the economic
Probably just trying to get out of the rain.
are feeling all too dearly.
Or
And then by
into
the
the
end of the year,
blue
you have that eviction moratorium, which also expires. So again,
That'll
the
wait.
president here suggesting that he wants to help Americans, but really by not signing this legislation, he is at best delaying the aid to actually get to them, and at worst preventing it from reaching them altogether. Yeah.
That bastard is just 3 sheets, and I'm wrecking a new suit for nothing. I swear I'm gonna kill him.
Thank you so much.
Sam Dade.
Here.
Just
in case Frank was right. I'm gonna go grab them boys, get them sorted out. You go ahead, see what's what. Catch up with you.
Congressman, thank you so much for joining me, especially on this holiday weekend. As you know,
I think Sam Dade.
blindsided Republicans, you're one of them, Democrats too, suddenly reluctant to sign the bill, as Jeremy was just reporting on, and we've seen for the last
Why not
few
mistaken?
days, even though his top aides helped make it happen, never mind his colleagues and allies in Congress. What do you think is going on?
Well, I think, actually, thanks for having me on, Dana. I think you need to be involved in your own
One
negotiations. I think when you're too busy tweeting conspiracy theories or things like Stop the Steal or supporting just ridiculous notions from people who are asking for martial law, you're not involved in your own negotiations with your own leadership. The reason it blindsided everybody, they thought the president was involved, and it's obvious he was sleeping on the job when he came to these negotiations. And the fact is, a lot of people combine these two together. When you look at the appropriations bill, you look at the COVID relief bill, those are separate. You look at the NDAA, which we have to talk about here soon. But when you look at the COVID bill and appropriations, you should have been paying attention. And that's what happens when you get too wrapped up in trying to win an election you already lost.
And so let's talk about what next. The Democrats in the House and the Senate in particular, but the Democrats in the House are saying, okay, Mr. President, you want $2,000 checks? So do we. We're going to have a vote on Monday. What do you think you and your fellow Republicans will do in that situation?
I think you're going to see a lot of Republicans that support the larger payment. I thought initially we'd get the $1,200 per person like we had originally. I expected the $300 in unemployment insurance. I'm okay with the $2,000 per person. That just was never on the table during negotiations. It wasn't something we discussed. I honestly thought it was going to be $1,200. I think you're going to see a lot of Republicans that support the $2,000 per person stimulus check.
But just to be clear, so our viewers understand, you're saying that now you might have voted for it, but part of the reason it wasn't in there is because a lot of your fellow Republicans did not support that big of a check.
No, some did not. I thought the $1,200 would be right where we fell. Some don't support the $2,000, but again, Dana, we never discussed $2,000 per person until we heard after the fact. And that's the thing that sort of gets, I would say, under the skin of Republicans who aren't involved in negotiations. That's about 90% of us. We think that we're hearing one thing through talking points or through messaging, or we're hearing things through our official email of where we're going and how negotiations are going.
Why do I gotta feed it?
For something that's bipartisan, we get blindsided. And that, again, it just goes with President Trump, I think.
Why do I gotta feed it that nigga can fight?
Where he's just not paying attention, what seems to be the case.
You mentioned the defense bill. This is a huge bill that is traditional for decades. Has passed in a bipartisan way. Has passed Congress.
I gotta figure they can fight. I gotta feed it. That's him dead.
The Congress did pass it with a.
I get saying.
So do you think that
100% sense I'm right. 50% I won't. But it's always that 100%. I mean, always that 100%. I played games like this before. I know. I know. I played games like this before where I know how things go with Mafia. I played every Mafia game that I made. The first one, the second one, to the third one. And every time something like this go down, they always can fight me, that person end up dead.
Where the hell are you right? You lost your Republican primary early this year. How do you do what you just said? How do you stop the disinformation, the disinformation, when many of your Republican colleagues
hey, buddy.
They go along with it?
Jesus, drop your weapon. You first.
What did I say?
Sorry, pal.
Did I say it? What did I get some saying? That it was a foul. I know. I knew it. You always can foul when something like that go down. You don't see nobody up in there, it can foul.
party of ideas, not the party of practice. That's just the way it is.
And when you say we've had enough, what do you do with that? You're already told, so you know what the GOP will do? Is that an action that you want to take, or would it make a difference?
We got to mobilize. And when I say mobilize, we've got to mobilize the movement of the Constitution and a movement of ideas and institutions. So each person is bigger than any institution. And I think that's the frustration that I felt, the frustration that the other Republicans are feeling, is that why are we pledging guilty to an individual when we should be persuading the Constitution to our constituents? I've said this before. President Trump's not my boss. He's not the boss of any of the congressional representatives.
Poor bastard must have taken longer to die.
And even if it hurts, even if the facts hurt, we have an obligation, a duty, right, bound by honor, to spit facts. We are bound by honor, and I will continue to do that.
Nothing about this feels right.
Cameron Riggleman, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, and thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Dana.
Thank you. And travel bans and border closures may have been too late to stop the spread.
What took you so long?
Looking
for Sammy. Find him? Not yet. Just him.
More on that. Soon, we're listening
Canadian
and
crew.
watching CNN.
Dollars to donuts, the rest of the face down in the dirt, too.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand.
With my circulation promoter, we can feel
Christ.
better, be more active, and enjoy life more. Remember, a day lost, we pay.
The cops,
then
Tommy.
you get back. Don't waste another day. Give this a
How
try.
would I know?
If you don't like it, we can return
They didn't
it.
show a badge.
But like many others who try,
They didn't
you'll
say
probably
anything.
love it and tell your friends and family about it.
There must be a
Do you
Morello
suffer with
pocket.
pain in your legs and feet, circulation, or arthritis pain so much that it affects your life?
You can't even let us have this one rack.
Circulation promoter today.
My system is a high quality, class 2.
Forget about it, Tom.
That's payback day. It works to
You're gonna find Sam and get out of here.
Relax tight muscles, improve circulation,
Sam dead.
and keep you safe.
Recommended for anyone with sore and achy feet, leg pain, and anyone who needs improved circulation in their legs. Plus, Dr. Hose is a total body pain relief system. Just connect the body
These guys are the
and get
real
relief
deal.
for your neck pain,
They gotta be
and
cops from
shoulder
the Border
tension,
Patrol.
back pain, knee pain, muscle tension, and even joint pain
come
from
here, be all right.
arthritis. Imagine
Make lost having
relaxing
people
at
like
the end of
pussy
a
cats.
stressful day. It's easy, safe, and effective. With less pain, you can be more active, relax, and wake up feeling great.
You know, my device is very different. It's a combined head and CNS device. With our proprietary pain relief technology
Search
called
the farm.
AMP,
Find
my
Sam.
device will
Get the hell
provide
out.
you with
Anyone
over
else?
300
We sleep on the
auto-modulated
boat.
pulses.
Get
That
it?
means your nerves and muscles do not need to adapt to the same signature of time.
I made this machine myself, and I recommend it to all my patients.
Trouble sleeping? Use Dr. Hose to relieve your pain so it's easier to fall asleep. Safe to use with medication. It's portable. Get pain relief anytime.
It can be amazing how quickly the pain goes from unbearable to just no pain.
So if you have pain, call now and save on Dr. Hose Circulation Promoter with today's special TV price. But wait, you'll also get a travel pouch to get relief on the go. But check this out. Call right now and we'll make this offer even better by adding 4 body pads for relieving arm and neck pain, plus 2 large body pads for relieving back and knee pain. A $35 value.
Looks like we found the
In addition to
Canadians.
the body pads,
See
we'll also
Sam in there?
include a travel foot therapy pads, a $50 value.
That's something.
You'll have everything you need to get pain relief from head to toe, and it's drug-free.
Poor bastards.
It makes sense. It's not medication. And it works.
With Dr. Ho's 90-day pain relief guarantee, if you're not absolutely amazed, return it and get your money back. Just pay the shipping. Be sure to get this for your grandparents and your mom and dad. With less pain, they can be happier and more active. Ask about an extra discount for buying 2. But wait, use code FREESPRAY and get Dr. Ho's pain spray. Just pay the processing, but you must call right now. Pick up the phone and you'll get Dr. Ho's Circulation Promoter, and placement chart, travel pouch, 4 body pads, 2 large body pads, foot therapy pads, and as a bonus, Dr. Ho's pain spray. You'll get all this with today's special TV price. Plus, call right now and find out about our extra seasonal.
I don't think of pills as examining. I do nothing against medication, but you should also use my system at home. It's effective drug-free. It's perfect for seniors or middle-aged person who have everything all kinds of medication. And for those people, this is how practicing physical therapy really understand this type of technology. You have to use it. The only difference is now you can use it at home. Okay? That means you can use it as you want at your own time. Nice thing is, you don't have to take each time, and that's not bad either.
Dr. Rose's product has taught me that it's okay to say, I don't want to live in pain anymore, and I'm taking control of my pain.
This exclusive TV offer is not available in stores, so you must act now. This paid presentation is brought to you by Dr. Ho.
Get in the circle.
A new network celebrating country music invites you into the circle, where you'll get insider access to all that country has to offer.
There's some magic in here.
It doesn't get any better than this.
We are artist-driven and fan-focused. Country plays here.
Join me in the circle.
Join us in the circle.
When you need to get a great car at a fair price, stop by Charlie Davis Motors. With no haggles, upfront pricing, and our in-house financing, we can get you a great today. Charlie Davis Motors, come see us at 830 Coliseum Boulevard.
Every day there are thousands of vehicles on the road that are coming out. Fleets, trucks, SUV, and vans. Every year there are thousands of accidents that involve these company-owned vehicles. When an accident occurs with a company-owned vehicle, it's not just another accident. These accidents are the responsibility of not only the company driver, but also their employer. These vehicle accidents are complex. Alexander Shannara is experienced in handling the cases that involve company-owned vehicles.
I'm Charlie Davis. I know that sometimes life, divorce, bankruptcy, credit problems, we can help. Come and see us today, Charlie Davis Motors, where we position the right way, with character, integrity, and honor.
You're gonna burn!
Law enforcement said to be searching the home of a man in connection with an active Christmas morning explosion in Nashville. By now, police will be investigating scores of buildings damaged and a citywide curfew in effect after a poor horrifying moment. It was terrifying, but it was also surreal. The heroic Nashville police officer who saved lives. Where is the relief? Millions of Americans desperate for help. The addicts know that news benefits tonight. There is no sign the president will sign the COVID bill passed by Congress. Dire situation. Officials warning of a deadly post-Christmas surge. The governor of California says hospitalizations have doubled in 30 days. But the state's ICU capacity is already
Boys, stay
at
here and
zero.
watch our backs.
Los Angeles,
Plug anyone who gets within 100 yards.
every 10 minutes. Stopping
It's our
the
best.
spread, a highly infectious new strain of COVID is showing up in more countries as European nations gear up to vaccinate across the continent. And steals, deals, and returns. How to get the best post-Christmas prices and return those unwanted packages.
This is NBC Nightly News with Jose
Sammy.
Diaz.
Oh, Jesus, what have they done to
Good
you?
evening, I'm Kate Snow in for Jose tonight. Federal authorities say they have moved in today on the home of a man they believe could be connected to a deliberately
Can you
set
walk?
bomb inside an RV that exploded on Christmas morning.
Okay, just hang on.
The blast
I'll go get the
left
truck.
3
Don't
injured
take
and
it to the
destroyed
doctor.
businesses up
Hey,
and down
hey,
the central
you're gonna make it,
commercial
Sam.
street. The governor
Tommy,
today saying he asked
stay
President
here with
Trump
him.
for an
I'll
emergency
be back in a
declaration
flash.
given the severity and magnitude of the situation. We begin tonight with Morgan Chesky in Nashville.
Tonight, senior federal law enforcement officials tell NBC News they're searching the Nashville area home of 63-year-old Anthony Quinn Warner. They're looking for evidence in connection with the Christmas morning.
It'll be okay, Sam. We survived
A
worse.
possible clue, officials say, a Google Street View image of the address shows an RV as an identical match. The same vehicle Nashville police say was used in the bombing at Rock Music City.
Where'd all these guys come from?
The explosion authorities call intentional shattered windows, smashed through doors, and damaged nearly 40 downtown buildings. The blast coming from an RV, over the AT&T transmission building, and right outside the home of that civilian. Who woke to the sound of gunshots, there was a strange voice coming from the vehicle.
They said
you right now, there is a bomb in this vehicle. This vehicle will explode. Evacuate right now.
There is a family that access to the injured. Now, authorities say they recovered human tissue with the weapon, but little else. We're saying it was blocks away from such devastation. Is Nashville safe now? Nashville is safe. We have no known threats against the city. We're following up on every investigative lead that we have. Nashville Police Chief John Drake says 6 officers who first encountered the RV, each rushing to clear the area and get nearby residents to safety. They went with their instinct and immediately began evacuating. We've been talking about a lot of people seriously injured taking them back. The AT&T outage disrupted 911 access and ground flights at Nashville Airport yesterday. Full restoration could take days. As some residents across Tennessee and parts of Georgia, Alabama, Music City, New York, as investigators piece together a crime scene, they call a massive hub.
We could outline a dozen different scenarios of what could happen.
Bobby Jones is now downtown Nashville. Look at those pictures. What is being done to help people?
Yes, this is a popular neighborhood that a lot of people live and work in. So to help them out, the governor of Tennessee now requesting federal assistance from FEMA. Those funds likely going right to cleaning up all of this debris. A lot of the folks who live here that I've spoken to have considered it for war zone.
Thanks for being there for us. Another top story tonight for millions of Americans. The economic impact of the pandemic has been devastating. And the lifeline. Now that federal assistance is about to run out. Benefits are set to expire tonight because Congress and the President are deadlocked over COVID relief legislation.
Jesus Christ! Where's the goddamn Across the pandemic ravaged nation tonight, reality is sinking in. Help from Washington isn't on the way. Grandmother Nicole Akers in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania is staring down her last week of unemployment.
Panic mode has now kicked in. My unemployment is not it's not a heck of a lot, but it's about a 5. But this now is going to be a room for
Yes, federal unemployment insurance programs that would have been extended in the relief bill now expire, cutting benefits for about 12 million Americans. Millions more could be put out of their homes in January. The federal eviction moratorium is the next major program to expire on May 2nd if the president doesn't act. Nicole is watching that deadline here.
On January,
get up their side! On the president's desk, the bipartisan bill his administration helped negotiate, which he now refuses to sign. Tweeting this morning, quote, I simply want to get our great people $2,000 rather than the measly $600 that is now in the bill. And complaining about actually foreign aid spending requested in the White House's budget. Trump ally Lindsey Graham tweeting after Christmas golf with the president that Mr. Trump is more determined than ever to get the $2,000 direct payments, which he called reasonable. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has made no public comment on the president's demand. President Trump never left his Mar-a-Lago resort today, tweeting about the election results, calling the Supreme Court incompetent and weak, and his successor a fake president. That successor, President-elect Joe Biden, this afternoon issuing a lengthy statement on the COVID relief bill, which reads in part, this bill is critical. It needs to be signed into law now.
And Garrett's with us now. Garrett, what happens if the president doesn't sign the bill?
Well, Congress comes back to Washington on Monday, and Democrats will try to pass those $2,000 direct payments. They're also likely to try to pass a government funding extension. If the president doesn't sign that or the relief and spending bill by midnight Monday, the government shuts down.
In California, the healthcare system is already operating at capacity. There's real concern tonight that a new post-holiday surge may be even worse.
For millions of Americans, it was a dark Christmas.
We're seeing the biggest numbers that we've seen so far in the pandemic.
The epicenter, California, where statewide ICU bed capacity stands at 0%. The governor's warning, the second holiday surge will be deadlier than the first.
We're projecting just the next 30 days.
In Los Angeles County, a person dies every 10 minutes in COVID. Doctors say the consequences of Christmas gatherings will be a breaking point.
You guys keep opening up new COVID units. Legal and not. Just like New York ended up in April. In crisis care. You don't want to be in that place.
Another concern, the highly contagious strain that's running rampant in the UK. Testing for that has begun in LA. Tennessee, second only to California in cases per capita, now has availability. Many critical care nurses there have seen patients die on every shift. We're working so hard, working to support our kids, and we need our community to support us. Adding to the national crisis, over 8 million people flew for the holiday, the busiest period since the pandemic began. College sports continue to get hit by COVID. University of Michigan announcing 199 student athletes now tested positive to date. Duke women's basketball canceling the remainder of their season due to health and safety concerns. Now in the second week of the vaccine rollout, Dr. Hussein Sabrazodeh in Boston appears to be the first to have a severe reaction to the Moderna vaccine, using his own EpiPen on himself. Today he told us that he is still experiencing symptoms he believes are linked to the vaccine. A vaccine viewed as armor for medical workers on the front line, facing a new surge after a season of sadness.
These people are dying alone because they're in a COVID unit. No family members, no friends, no husband or wife there. They die alone.
And hospitalizations in LA County have more than tripled in the past month. What are hospitals doing to prepare for this potential next surge? Okay, hospitals have been more like carrying COVID patients to more beds there. And this has already occurred in so like other medical systems across the county. They're bringing in more staff like travel nurses and adding more beds. Thank you. And in Europe tonight, more countries are detecting that new virus contagious variant of the disease. And because that rally in Paris tracking that story for us now. Where does this new strain like that?
Okay, French authorities said last night that the first case in France was discovered. It was a French migrant that really wanted that returned last week. Authorities say he's asymptomatic and sheltering at home. So now Spain, Canada all have reported their first cases, and all of them can be linked at least somewhat back to Britain. Okay?
And that help could be coming, right? Some European countries have begun vaccination.
Well, the whole effort is going to start tomorrow for all 27 EU countries. The Pfizer vaccine has been delivered just yesterday and today. Germany and Hungary have started their first vaccinations. In Germany, the first one, a 101-year-old woman who lives in a nursing home. And important to note, Kate, that all of the approved vaccines, according to scientists, will be effective against this new mutant variant. Kate?
All right, thank you. Europe is beginning to deploy those vaccines, and the race is on to do that across the globe now. While many are still being retarding for each other in several countries, there's no concern. Some will have to wait years for their shots.
Okay.
In the global race between injections and infections, millions have now been vaccinated against the COVID virus. In China, first appeared more than 20 vaccines.
We got more company.
Several approved and now being sent abroad.
Right here.
There's some ammo and a Thompson back there somewhere. Grenade blowing behind you! Blast them down! Just don't let them get past us!
That thing back there is huge! Where the hell did they find that truck? Take him out now! Good night, asshole! You think we're okay now? Do you? Our friend's got company!
2 squad cars on us! These guys keep on coming! Okay, one down! Our friends got company! More bad news coming in from the side! Ah, crap! They're right on our ass! Get too close! Sam, you okay? We're in trouble, Tom. Ollie, we need to go now! Ollie, we got...
You a fake guy, motherfucker, real man. You almost got her killed, fake guy, motherfucker.
Shit!
You have your gun when there's a break in the fire! Shoot now while we got the chance!
Here's another clean tip from Mr. Clean. Cleaning tough bathroom and kitchen messes with sprays and wipes can be a struggle. There's an easier way. Try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Just wet, squeeze, and erase tough messes like bathtub soap scum and cake on grease from oven doors. Now Mr. Clean Magic Eraser comes in disposable sheets. They're perfect for icky messes on stovetops and microwaves.
Shoot out your gun when there's a break in the fire! Then reload! Shoot! Now! Now! Shoot this guy! Take out the windshield armor, Tom! I got an idea! And another! Throw another!
Walmart, Target, and Macy's both the savings stretching from 20 to 70% off.
I wish I had
Ollie was a
If you click on the gift card, you'll get the savings platform like quickdeals.net to stretch your dollar even further.
Set a deal alert on that site and you'll be alerted to when any specific items go on sale. And while the prices keep dropping for many items,
Okay, we're here. Tell me. You can stand now. I'm gonna go wake up the doc.
they're keeping all of this for now. And we'll hold off until January for
We're at the doctor's house.
your new category like fitness items, wellness items. Also, hold off on TVs until right before the Super Bowl because that's when they'll be on sale again.
Heading into 2021 with
More bargains on the horizon. Now, ABC News. And while you're checking out those deals, you might need to make some
What the hell are you doing here so late? Evening, Doc. Sorry to wait there. We had a little accident. We got an injured man out here. All right, bring him inside. Okay, thank you. Okay. I'll stay with Sam. You can take the truck back. Call it a night. No, I'll wait. Doc's already got his hands full. No sense in both of us breathing down his neck. Corn's up. He'll be fine. Okay.
Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm Lee, and we live in North Old
Hey.
I'm a retired
You're
school
good tonight.
counselor. I'm a retired art teacher. We met online about 10 years ago. As I got older, my hearing was not so good, so I got hearing aids. My vision was not as good as it used to be. I had a change in prescription. But the thing missing was the memory. I saw a Prevagen commercial and I thought that makes sense. I just didn't have to work so hard to remember things.
Prevagen. Healthier brain. Better life.
She's so beautiful. Kitty, come here. Check this out. See? She looks kind of sweet. Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Presidential address delivered earlier this year on the topic of the National Recovery Administration. This is part of our series looking back over the president's plans and results since his inauguration.
While we are making this great common effort, there should be no discord and no dispute. This is no time to cavil or question the standards set by this universal agreement. It is time for patience and understanding and cooperation. Workers of this country have rights under this law which cannot be taken from them, and nobody will be permitted to whittle them away. But, on the other hand, no aggression is now necessary to attain those rights.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car
The whole
insurance.
country will be united to get them
Social media in America to lend a helping hand to the need is great in the response and greater.
ask the workers to cooperate in the same spirit. When Andrew Jackson, so sickly,
With so many
died,
Americans shopping
someone
online
asked,
this year,
"Will he
retailers
go
are
to heaven?"
anticipating record
The answer was,
of unwanted
he
gifts
will
on Sunday
if
days,
he
and this
wants
year,
to.
it's even more complicated
If
because
I am asked whether the American people will pull themselves out of this
the
depression,
gift giving is
I
done,
answer,
stockings
they
unstuffed.
will
But
if they
one
want
kid
to.
that didn't quite hit the mark this
The
year.
essence
We're
of the
expecting to
plan
have a major
is a
surge in
universal limitation of
overall
hours of
customer
work
returns this year.
per
With
week.
so many still stuck at
Any
home, the
individual,
likelihood of gifts being
by
sent back
common
is
consent,
higher than ever. Experts
and
predicted
a universal payment of wages
goods
above the minimum,
items bottom
also
line
by
are
common
returned 3
consent.
times as often as those
My friends, I cannot guarantee
Especially buying more online, the expectations for
nationwide
returns
plan,
are extremely
but the
high.
people of this country can guarantee success. I have no faith in
Some of this has been
zero,
driven by Amazon.
but I believe that we can greatly influence economic forces.
companies like
I have
Amazon
no
have
sympathy
designated
with
drop-off
the
points
professional
for
economists
Full
who
and
insist
UPS
that things
stores.
must run
Other
their
brands like
jobs
Gap,
and that
Levi's,
your
and
agencies
Newmarket setting up concierge drop-off points in shopping centers across the country, like all of America. Walmart is designating free returns with FedEx pickup, so you can send online gifts back
their
without
definition
leaving home.
of economic laws every 5 or 10 years for a very long time.
Well, when you see an order come through that's the same requirement, but 2 seconds, that's what's going to happen.
In the
One of those is
strength
going to
of
get
common
returned at some
purpose
point.
and in the strength of unified action taken by the American people.
The president there speaking earlier this year on the National Recovery Administration.
If you're looking to bring back a gift this season, make sure you look up your retailer's return policy.
Empire
Major
Bay
stores
is
like
no longer
Amazon,
out of
Target,
reach
and
thanks
Macy's
to Blue
send
Heron
until
Airlines.
January 31st.
Visit
And if you
Lincoln
do
Park,
hit the
see the
deadline,
Grand Upper
the
Bridge,
market is
and marvel at the Oval Building. Blue Heron operates 4 flights each day, flying out of Last Heaven International. Contact your travel agent for scheduling and
When we come
reservations.
back, mission accomplished. Some good news about a little girl
With
who
music
wanted to change
programming
a
and
classic toy. How a toy maker in a different state helped make her wish come true.
Smooth driving pays off. With Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you save. You've never been in better hands. Allstate. Different call.
You're late.
Today.
Dinner's cold.
Needles. Essential for sewing, but maybe not for people with certain inflammatory conditions, because there are options, like an injection. Xeljanz. The first and only pill of its kind that treats moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, or moderate to severe ulcerative colitis, when other medicines have not helped enough. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, or are prone to infections, serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers, including lymphoma, and blood clots have happened. Taking a higher than recommended dose of Xeljanz for RA may increase your sit-down, tears in the stomach or intestines, and serious allergic reactions have happened. Needles. Fine for some, but for you, there's a pill that may provide symptom relief. Ask your doctor about the pill first prescribed for RA more than 7 years ago. Xeljanz. An injection.
Ever wonder why your just washed laundry doesn't smell just washed? That's because there's hidden sweat and body soils that cause odors on your clothes. But there's a solution for those secret stinks. Game Flings laundry packs. Game Flings has more freshness ingredients than Detergent liquid detergent. They have 3 super-powered ingredients that fight stink. OxyBoost for Breeze odor remover and concentrated detergent. Just toss in a couple of packs. Game Flings works in all wash cycles, even in cold water. Try Game Flings and smell the difference, or we'll give you your money back.
Hi, Susan. Honey.
Yeah?
I respect that, but that pulp looks pretty bad. Try this new Rubber Dustin Honey Severe.
The real honey you love, plus the
Hey,
perfect
Beth.
comfort you need.
Find the 5 weekly
I came as soon as I get your message.
Strong
Slow down,
relief
Tom.
of your symptoms. I'll tell you what the American people mandated. Heal the nation. That is why. How close to the breaking point is our hospital system? Why should we feel confident that vaccine distribution will go smoothly? If it's Sunday, it's Meet
I
the
was up
Press.
all night driving myself nuts trying to figure it out.
There's good news.
Started thinking maybe it's one of our guys. They aren't
Those
paying his fair
brave
share.
soldiers that are the popular toys
Someone
for
with a
decades.
light wallet.
They're finally being
Maybe
updated
looking to
with like a
Morello for a
modern,
new
more
suit.
inclusive military.
Frank wasn't around, so I went to the safe to get the account books. To see who's
From
getting
under
cents
the
on the
Christmas
dollar.
tree, a special gift more than a year in the making.
What do you know?
But well worth the wait for
books
7-year-old
are
Vivian
gone.
Lord in Little Rock, Arkansas.
I was so happy. I just
Frank.
opened the box and there the
More than 50 years I've known.
figures were.
The toys were based on women in the
Everything I have,
military,
I got for
something
Frank.
Vivian wanted after noticing there were just boy toy soldiers.
She came over and said,
And every buck we've earned, every dime we've paid out, it's all locked in those books. Frank hands those over to the feds, we're finished.
Frank respects one person in this whole town, and that's you. This has got to be some kind of misunderstanding.
I've been calling him all day. Went by his place. He's gone. His wife and kid are gone.
By the idea, he decided to give it a try.
When I saw the letter,
Why?
I was like, you know, this one would be hard to
I
say
don't know.
no to.
Determined to get it
Sure, he
just
has his
right, he spent
reasons.
months researching photos, sketching, and working with sculptors on prototypes. making
Maybe
sets of
he's
16 figures.
still smarting over the
Military
dog.
nurse, dog handler,
But when
and
you tried to
one
drown
based on Rosie the Riveter.
The one thing
Yeah.
that kept in my mind all year over this was that no matter what happened,
Same one I shot after he wouldn't let me sink her.
I set up for the soldiers for Christmas. So even if I only get one set made,
I was a stupid kid, Tommy.
But when word got
Grudge or no
out, his
grudge, we
orders
gotta get
started
those
to
books back.
skyrocket.
Shake down all our stories. Seal those
Vivian for some more options during that time when they're playing. This is just a tool.
When you catch up to Frank, you'll get those books.
Vivian's vision,
And if he doesn't have them on him, we'll make him tell you where to find
can
them.
make a big difference.
After that, you do what you gotta do.
Keep trying until it comes true.
We're proud of her. A great story of speaking up. It's about children having a voice,
Chenzo's
about
waiting for you with a clean
equality,
car.
women, empowerment. I mean, it's everything. Vivian and her mom are saving
Let's
some
get
packs
those
of the
books.
new soldiers so one day Vivian can show her own children.
Tommy.
And at NBC Nightly News on this Saturday, I'm Kate Snow. A Merry Christmas for all of us at NBC News. Stay safe and have a good night.
Tough day today,
And good
Tom.
night.
You gotta keep it real in this town. Start with Biff, but don't give him nothing. I got you a clean set of wheels. And something special if you want.
Download the NBC News app. There's a new mayor coming to NBC Comedy Thursday.
You do realize I'm lost, right?
Like Susan
New job.
you know,
Same tech.
your wheels boy.
Your wife makes a point. She's huge. January 7th on NBC. Live, local, and now, this is WSFA 12 News at 6. Good evening, I'm Mark Phillips.
And now, the latest news. The Navy is today continuing its search for the remains of those brave souls lost aboard the airship USS Akron. The Akron was destroyed in a violent thunderstorm on the New Jersey coast Tuesday morning, with the loss of 73 of 76 aboard. The disaster stands as the worst aviation accident on record. Yesterday, one of the survivors, Lieutenant Commander Herbert B. Wiley, spoke to members of the press and gave a brief account of the tragedy. He also spoke of the survivors' rescue by the German tanker Phoebus. President Roosevelt has described the loss of the Akron as a national disaster and said that he grieves with the lives and families of those lost and the nation. We will bring you more on the disaster and the Navy's search as we receive it. Thank you for listening. We return now to our scheduled programming.
Put people's name at the warming shelter. She asked for help through Facebook, and people sent supplies and donations to make the effort happen in 2 days. Barron says that she hopes that this will become one of her family Christmas traditions.
It was something very important. I think with what this year, 2020, has presented us all, I think we can all go back to simpler times and just think and remember how blessed we are and how much we have to share with others.
What's the rumpus?
Who have brought the spirit of Christmas to the Warming Center. In Montgomery, Cody Shamler, and SFA 12 News. That center will be open this evening for anyone who needs a warm place to stay. We've placed more information right now at WSFA.com. And keep in mind, if it's too cold for you outside, it's too cold for your pets. Freezing temperatures put those exposed noses, paws, and ears at risk for frostbite that can even lead to your pet's death. If for some reason you just cannot bring your pet indoors, veterinarians say make sure your animal has a heat source to stay warm.
We still strongly urge people to make sure that they have proper bedding, proper shelter, and making sure that they can get out of the weather.
If you bring your pets indoors, make sure they stay a safe distance away from any heat source. Lying too close to a fire or heater can cause animals to actually get too hot. Of course, it can also pose a fire danger. So just how cold are we talking about as we take a live look out over historic Dexter Avenue here in downtown Montgomery? Let's head over to WSFA First Alert meteorologist Lee Southwick for a first look at our forecast. Lee?
Oh, another freezing mark.
Welcome to WLH Sports Report. There's a sense of anticipation as we await the start of the big game. Our very own the Lost Heaven Lancers are out on the road, deep in enemy territory as they take on bitter rivals, the Empire Bay Cannons. This year's Gold Series is shaping up to be one of the best on record, with both teams matching one another blow for blow. Despite the Cannons' home field advantage and an early lead in the series, the Lancers have bounced back and have really taken their rivals to task. Many of the plaudits and calling engines have been dedicated to one man. Lancers pitcher Buddy Smith is one of this year's standout performers, and with this series tied at 3-3, he may well be the key man that brings the Wisman Trophy back to Lost Heaven. But doing so will be no easy task.
Today. What's the interesting thing about this is that our average high temperature is coming here is 67 degrees. So we're going to go from full low average temperatures today.
Victory was canceled out by the Lancers in Game 6, and we now have a powder keg finale that is sure to have everyone glued to their radios. Can Buddy Smith bring bring it home for Lost Heaven, or will a canner's towering redhead have the final say? WLH 570 Lost Heaven Radio will carry live coverage of the final game of the Gold Series, and we hope you'll join us in wishing our boys well. And now, back to some of the latest musical numbers.
Darren Motley with a fatal gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 other victims were taken to a local hospital. The suspect is on the screen now. He's Adrian Johnston, or Johnson, I should say. He was found also with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital and has also been charged with murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. A man is injured in a shooting this morning and has now passed away.
What's this about the guy you drove home with the fence?
He came in for a drink. On arrival, officers say they found 61-year-old Freddie Dunlop with a gunshot wound.
Where?
He was taken to the hospital and that's where he died. So far, no arrests have been made in this case. It is Montgomery's 65th homicide of 2020. Tonight we're learning more about how you'll find when it's your turn to get a COVID vaccine. Great television reporter Josh
Why the hell didn't you tell us?
Tom,
I did. I came in to see Frank straight away. He didn't tell the Don? No, he didn't.
They say health departments will let the public know through traditional means like press conferences or public service announcements. It's also relying on the CDC for help. That plan says when vaccine supply is available for more groups among the general population, then a national COVID-19 vaccine finder website should be up and running.
We return now to the coverage of Game 7 of the Gold Series. And by the looks of it, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be underway any minute now. The crowd here in the Armory are restless. You can almost taste the tension as we approach this, the deciding game between these 2 famous rivals. More than a little bad blood between them, and more than a couple of nasty flare-ups in recent years. Of course, this occasion, more than any other, could prove feisty. What with the drama that closed out the previous game. That, of course, saw the Lancers win to tie the series, and it's not often Empire Bay and Lost Heaven can boast the game's best colored hitter and pitcher, respectively. I refer, of course, to Foghorn Seidel, a man mountain with a shock of red hair, and Lancer's star, Bunny Smith. Speaking of Smith, he is jogging, I suppose you'd say, between his teammates, issuing last-minute orders. They seem responsive to whatever he's saying. He commands respect from his team, that is for sure. My goodness, there must be some nerves among some of the younger Lancers. Elvis, Graves, and everything.
As you know right now, the Pfizer vaccine
Pep them up, Lance. Good to see. That's what a good captain.
State is getting just over 84,000 doses of the Moderna company's vaccine.
The Lancers are slowly taking up their position, so we can't be too far away from the
looking ahead to what their schedule will look like after Christmas break.
At the Armory, the home of the Empire Bay Cannons. Stay with us for more.
He says it's up to each local school district to decide, but he's hopeful that we can get back to in-person classroom learning soon because parents have expressed they need that.
Getting more and more requests and concerns from parents who want their students back in the classroom. So I truly believe that as soon as the vaccine is widely available, what we will see is a massive return to in-person instruction.
Now keep in mind, it could be summer before everyone in the state, including healthy adults and children, have been able to get that vaccine. The CDC has approved recommendations that teachers get the next round. The state is still discussing the logistics of teacher vaccinations. Dr. Mackey says he hopes that it will happen in the next couple of months. Today, the state health department has reported more than 343,000 cases of the coronavirus. Over 51,000 cases are new in just the past 2 weeks. 4,685 rate or death rate in Alabama is now the current rate. UAB Dr. Michael Sagg says one of the toughest things he and his colleagues have dealt with over the past year is trying to get the message out of what it's going to take to get us through this pandemic. He says at times the health community has been challenged by public criticism of the fact they're just doing their jobs. He says people are asking questions like, how do you know what you're talking about? And Sagg says he or his fellow doctors are not claiming to have all the answers, but what he can say is that through studies and other pandemics, through basic knowledge of infectious diseases and the way they're transmitted, he says they are doing a pretty good job of understanding the place and passing along information to the public.
And that's what we're telling folks to respect in the first place and to try to do the things to stay out of the way of the virus as it moves forward. So if we can do that together, we'll get through this in the best possible way. And I look forward to the day this is behind us.
That day, according to health experts, hopefully will be here several months from now, once the majority of the population has been vaccinated. A paramedic talking to us after getting COVID-19 while on the job. Coming up tonight, why she now wants to see a change in state law. Also ahead, now that Christmas is behind us, there's a load of trash to pick up, including those old Christmas trees.
Take me to those account books, Frank.
In a more sustainable way.
And we return now to coverage what could be the final play of this game and the series between the Lost Heaven Lancers and the Empire Bay Cannons. A quick reminder that this final inning is being brought to you by Swift Cola. When you need a lift, reach for a Swift. It's not only a taste sensation, it's guaranteed to increase focus, drive, and mental clarity. Pick up a bottle of Swift Cola today. And as we are coming to a close, let me thank today's other sponsors, Big Break Cigarettes and Lost Heaven Courier. Both of these teams could be said to be entering golden eras. Each team has a star player at the core with promising youngsters set around. I refer, of course, to Smith and Seidel. The Cannons have had several such golden periods. The Lancers, it's fair to say, have not. I can see Lancers manager Frank Hahn prowling in front of the dugout, gesticulating. He seems animated, to say the least. Looks like he's putting one of the officials in his place, or something or other. With the noise of the crowd, it is quite hard to say for sure. Whatever's going on down there, you can feel the sense of occasion, and you just know that whatever happens, the crowd will be the first to tell you what has happened. The Lancers are now within minutes of snatching the Gold Series, which at one stage had appeared doomed, but they equally teeter on the edge of defeat. It all comes down to the final play. Nobody is warming up in the bullpen. Nobody down there is considering the possibility of extra innings. Sonny Smith then standing on the mound, a look of steely determination on his face. He's betraying no emotion, doesn't look nervous or tired after his exertions this series, nor does he appear to be carrying the weight of expectation. He's having a word with the umpire about something or other. A strapping fellow, 6'2", 195 pounds. If the Lancers are to win here today, he's going to carry themselves to the limit. And boy, oh boy, what that would mean to the people of Lost Heaven after such a long time without glory on the diamond. All right, they've sorted out whatever was going on. Here we go now. Into the Cannons, it's Patty Doherty. Smith is pitching the king of his life, but Doherty is a big man. He can catch one, it could run, and with bases loaded, the Cannons would have it. Here we go. Doherty facing down Smith. Fastball and strike. The big man thought he had it. Some speed on that ball, my goodness. It's fair to say Doherty looked a little smooth. He was convinced he had it. His body language tells the tale. Smith remains cool under pressure, not a flicker of emotion on his face. He winds up. And that's two. There was simple that one cut ball. Seidel is marking something at Doherty, but we have no chance of hearing it as the noise of the crowd reaches fever pitch. Doherty's gesturing, and that's only making Seidel more irate. This is it, folks. Another strike, and the Lancers win. If Doherty can get behind it, surely the Cannons will get all their men home, and that's the victory. A
real close to her, and she's living 3 days before I announced her. And I texted my mom and my husband, so I'm never going to get COVID, I just got it.
That patient tested positive hours later, and 4 days later, Christy woke up with a fever, went to her doctor for a COVID-19 test that came back negative. Just like the next half-dozen tests over several days. Finally, an infectious disease doctor admitted Christy to the hospital and tested a piece of her lung tissue. It was COVID positive.
Their theory is that because the sneeze was so close to my face, and the sneeze is really powerful. Their theory is that it just bypassed all of my, my nasal passages, and it went straight into my lungs, and that's why they couldn't find it.
Christy spent the next week in the COVID unit.
I could not stand up. I mean, it was rough.
Before recovering and returning to work after being out for about 8 weeks. She used sick days, vacation, and short-term insurance she pays for to cover that time off. But when her boss encouraged her to file a workers' comp claim, that's when her frustration began.
They told me to interview me, and they interviewed, but it was more like an interrogation. He asked me
Christ, they're flying him out of state or something. Fuck, this ain't good.
After I went to the grocery store, and I knew then where this was going.
Her company denied the claim, saying there's no way to prove she didn't get COVID somewhere else, including while she was in the hospital.
Ugly cry for hours. It's such a slap in the face, and it's so demoralizing. I haven't been to family gatherings. I haven't done anything.
Unlike 17 other states, Alabama law doesn't cover COVID-19 as a work-related illness, even for frontline workers.
We call these people frontline workers. We give them all the accolades for putting themselves in danger to take care of our sick loved ones. But yet, when they need the coverage that they're entitled to, we make it so hard that they can't receive.
It's time to walk the walk and not talk the talk. Because you're going to have many, many, many more of people like me. It's Russian roulette every call we go on. And if you get COVID, it's Russian roulette because you don't know how it's going to affect you. You could have the sniffles, you could die, or any and everywhere in between.
Christie says she's trying to get the attention of state lawmakers, who she hopes will change state law in next year's regular session to give frontline workers the presumption of COVID coverage from here on out. The Buffalo Bulls, as you probably heard by now, defeated the Marshall Thundering Herd yesterday at Crampton Bowl, the second of 2 bowl games this year, the Camellia Bowl. And that brought lots of great economic activity to the capital city here during the pandemic. The city says in past years, the Camellia Bowl has brought in an average of $17 million in revenue, but because of COVID-19 and the limited stadium capacity, they don't anticipate generating that much, but still, they say the amount will be significant.
14's in town, essentially 2 nights each, and so with all of those hotel rooms, and that hotel tax that comes in, we have officials in town, we have ESPN staff in town, all of those are hotel rooms, we're eating food, we're buying gas, buying souvenirs, so all of those things play into raising the hotel tax and supporting the city budget.
As of November, the city's largest tax is down 37% compared to last year, with hotels operating at about 50% capacity because of the pandemic. Now, from the 12 News Defenders, the Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources is offering a free Christmas tree recycling program that you can take part in. Residents can discard Christmas trees at any one of the city's regular Saturday trash drop-off points. You can do that anytime between 9 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. all the way to, or I should say on January 2nd, that's the city's collection of trees. The organization adds trees placed by the curb or by the road at your house will be taken to the landfill and will not be recycled. You can find more information about those drop-off sites at WSFA.com. A national trade organization is reminding families to be careful while they recycle their packaging from Christmas gifts. The AFDA notes while many packaging items like boxes, bags, and paper are not made from paper, products like ribbons and bows may be considered non-recyclable, as well as holiday cards that contain certain materials. They advise families read the tips on paperrecycling.org before filling their recycling bins. Tomorrow, will the weather be warmer? We're hoping so after 3 frigid nights in Alabama. WSFA First Meteorologist Steve Beckley is looking down for full forecast for the new year.
Live newscast on your phone. Download the WSFA 12 News app today.
I don't get so dry and fast, and it's serious for me. That's why I give it to Super Care. It's all-day moisture in one use and is guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked lips.
Also available in O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands.
Your mission. Stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious infections in blood clots, sometimes fatal, have occurred, as have certain cancers, including lymphoma, and tears in the stomach or intestines, and changes in lab results. Your doctor should monitor your blood work. Tell your doctor about any infections, and if you are or may become pregnant while taking Rinvoq.
Take on RA. Talk to your rheumatologist about Rinvoq Relief. Rinvoq. Make it your medicine. If you can't afford your medicine, Alfie may be able to help.
Are you tired of clean clothes that just don't smell clean? What if your clothes can stay fresh for weeks? Another tap. Downy Unstoppable Clean Wash Scent Boosters keep your laundry smelling fresh way longer than detergent alone. Pour a cap of Downy Unstoppables into your washing machine before each load and enjoy fresher smelling laundry. With 6 times the freshness ingredients, Downy Unstoppables give you more of what you love. If you want laundry to smell fresh for weeks, make sure you have Downy Unstoppables Clean Wash Scent Boosters.
Big truck accidents in the U.S. are increasing every year. For over 23 years, attorney Alexander Shannara has helped 18-wheeler accident victims recover millions of dollars. If you've been in an accident involving an 18-wheeler, we are here for you.
Call me, Alabama!
Now, your WSFA First Alert Weather with meteorologist Lee Southwick.
Another freezing night is underway across Central and South Alabama. We'll show the live look over Auburn University at Montgomery. Nice and dark out there, and temperatures are rapidly falling. So a lot of us now starting to reach down into the 30s. Some are coming in at 32 degrees already. Likely the ground temperature there a little bit warmer than that, but still 30s nevertheless. Montgomery 39, Alex City at 37, and Paula at 36. Some of you still in the 30s, but all of us tonight will fall through the 30s and down into the 20s. Another freezing night in the 20s, mainly middle to upper 20s. I think a lot of us are saying upper 20s as opposed to the middle 20s that we had this morning. But still, that is below freezing, so you know the drill by now. Make sure to bring the pets inside, cover up any sensitive plants, check on your neighbors as well. Tomorrow, we will be a little bit warmer. Today, a lot of us just stayed stuck in the upper 40s. Not a lot of us in the 50s. So tomorrow, all of us in the 50s. Some of you could even move into the lower 60s. So tomorrow, we will be 10 degrees warmer than where we were today. A little bit of a warm-up there. And our average high temperature for this time of year is 57 degrees. So we will technically be warmer than normal tomorrow. But the warm-up doesn't stop there. We're going to continue to warm into the 60s and well into the 60s. In the middle of the work week, 65 degrees on Wednesday. So much warmer. But then that's out ahead of our next system, which will cool us down. Another front is on the way. And this one we'll watch it closely because it also comes right around New Year's Eve. So here's how we see it now. A lot has been changing with this system, and a lot of models have now slowed down the system. So if you were watching the forecast yesterday, we said that we would see rain mainly on Wednesday. Today, it looks much more likely that the bulk of the rain will arrive on Thursday.
Tom,
so I'll just show you what I'm talking about, what we're all seeing here. Wednesday, we can't rule out a few showers.
I figured as much.
30% chance for rain on Wednesday.
I'm sorry it had to be you, Tom.
With more widespread showers arriving
Anything you want me to tell
Wednesday night into early Thursday morning.
I wish it could have shaken out better, but Morello finally came after me.
Moving through on our Thursday.
It's okay. You can come out.
So if you have any New Year's Eve plans, do be prepared that we could see some rain, perhaps even while we are.
Morello offered me a secret trade. The Dons of Campos for our lives and tickets out of this town. You hand the books over here. I'm not so stupid, Tom. This is. Morello is waiting.
We do dry out.
For this.
Your first day of 2021.
It's a key to a box in the Grand Imperial Bank, Tom. I told Morello I handed over after the plane was fueled and ready to go. His men were meant to fetch it before we left. I took care of it. Tell them to get on the plane.
Stay with us. We'll be back with sports.
Go on march, Alice. Get aboard.
Frank, you coming with us?
Not right now, honey. Just get buckled in. Tommy and I, we have some serious business to discuss. Get on the plane, Alice, for me. Get on the goddamn plane.
Let's get this party going. Hosted by Carson Daly with Amber Ruffin and Twitch.
Join us live for a night you'll never forget.
The party starts tonight, live at 10, 9 Central on NBC.
You ain't paid yet? Yeah.
Vita Village welcomes you to a cruise that never ends. Seniors Independent Living with suites starting
Now you've been paid twice. You take the ladies wherever they want to go.
Learn more at CaribbeanVillage.com.
I'm Stuart Vance with the
Thank you, Tom.
If you've been injured in an accident, you need a local attorney. Just
Why didn't you ask us for help?
333-3333.
I guess I just logged it out.
You need to be informed.
One way or the other.
2020 Alabama Weather Guide.
I'm tired.
Today.
Tired of lying to myself. Tired of checking under my card every time I take a Sunday drive. And tired of waiting for the dog to put two in my town.
For workplace accidents. These accidents can cause life-altering injuries and lead to loss of work and income for families. If you were injured in a workplace accident, call Alexander Shinari today. Available 24/7, nights and weekends.
Call me, Alabama.
God damn you, Frank.
Everybody get a haircut, we good.
Sports with Haley Sutton.
It's been the talk of the town for the last few weeks, and on Saturday, Alabama wide receiver Devontae Smith was named the CBS Sports Player of the Year.
Following fellow receiver Jalen Waddle's injury during Alabama's game against Tennessee, the senior stepped up his game and each week found a new way to dazzle fans.
Oh, what a catch! Devontae Smith! Touchdown, Alabama!
It was that game that rocketed Smith's name into the Heisman conversation. He torched the Tiger defense that night, catching 3 touchdowns and raking in the yards, a 231-yard performance. Ball back with an 84-yard punt return for a touchdown against Arkansas the next week. Speaking of the Heisman, on Thursday, the finalists were announced, and 2 of the 4 were from Bama, Smith and Mac Jones. The two became the first duo from the same team to be named finalists since 2004. But Oklahoma's Adrian Peterson and Jason White were selected. In 2020, Smith topped the FBS in catches with 98 for 1,511 yards, which also leads the league. He became both the SEC and Alabama's all-time receiving scorer, passing Amari Cooper's previous mark of 31. Meanwhile, Jones has also been hypercaped for winning the award. The quarterback has started 26 times for the Tide and has been tagged for national awards left and right. The Davy O'Brien Award, the Johnny Unitas, Manning, and Maxwell Awards. In 2020, he's thrown for 3,739 total yards, averaging just under 340 per game. He's had 4 400-plus yard games, the most in Alabama history, and tied for the most in the SEC. He also leads the nation in completion percentage. Jones and Smith have connected 17 times this season. And if you think 2 Heisman finalists is a lot, how about this? Najee Harris literally knocking on the door. He finished 5th in the conversation. The California native is considered one of the biggest running back prospects in the 2021 NFL Draft. And why wouldn't he be? He's Alabama's all-time leader for touchdowns in a career with 54.
Salieri never asked any questions.
He carried the ball for 3,639 yards in 2020 and has scored 12 100-plus games in his career. He just recently put on a clinic in the SEC championship game with 5 total touchdowns for the Tide's 52-46 win over Florida. Clemson's Trevor Lawrence and Florida's Kyle Trask are the other 2 finalists. The winner will be announced on January 5th. One of UAB's finest is turning to the NFL. Blazers running back Spencer Brown is foregoing his final year of eligibility to begin training for the NFL Draft. The program announced on Saturday. During his time at UAB, the senior was instrumental in the program's success, stacking up a number of school records, 858 career carries for a program best 4,011 yards, 41 rushing scores, and 42 total touchdowns.
You're making my voice twitchy, Mark.
Players to rack up 4,000
came by to pay respects, that's
the other being Clemson's Travis Etienne.
Frank a long
Brown
time.
is a 2-time Conference USA title game MVP. He's
Good man.
WSFA
Smart.
Sports.
Thanks, Henry. We're just getting started here on WSFA 12 News at 6. Another half hour to come, including an update from Nashville, where investigators are working to find out just what caused that.
But I'm still looking at this headstone with his little girl's name on it.
Christmas morning. We've got the latest on that investigation next.
It's a hell of a thing.
I love the truth. The truth sets you free.
Celebrate the 25th anniversary of Judge Judy. Weekdays at 3 on WSFA 12 News.
I'm Brandon Sellers of the Sellers Law Firm, and sometimes I use humor in my commercials. And occasionally, I miss the mark. Not today. When it comes to getting serious with your creditors, let me tell you how I can help.
At Novartis, our goal is to help keep Cosentix accessible and affordable. If you're taking Cosentix and your insurance or coverage changes, or you need help paying, Cosentix Connect is here to help. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms.
Look at these houses.
Valve disease symptoms.
White picket fences.
Call us or visit us online. We're here for you.
Not for you? No, sir. I like being closer to the business. You know what the flower beds and front porches for? There's more criminals out here than in the rest of the city combined. That why we're in the neighborhood? In a way. Merle's got a dirty prostitute on his payroll named Watkins. Turns out he's old friends with Galati. The city councilor. The same. Merle let drop that we might have had something to do with the Galati boy's death. Now Watkins is loaded for bear, trying to do right by his buddy. Word is, he's striking gold with a few
Welcome to the crossing.
You have names? Yeah. Paulie and Sam are taking care of you. They're putting you on a different level. Need whatever Watkins has got us. Where's he living? The safe, these folks. I'm no safe cracker. Don't worry about that. Taking enemies out. He's fresh off the boat. He knows how to pop open anything. Just get him into the villa, find the safe, and he'll do the rest. What kind of rumpus should I expect? Nothing you can't handle. Watkins is going to the theater. The house should be empty except for a bit of muscle. The office is on the first floor, and our stoolie says the safe is in the wall. Once Salvatore has the safe open, grab all the evidence and get out. Dead end, boss? Yeah, that's right. Salvatore, tutto bene?
Sì, grazie. Don Salieri.
Good to see you. You know the job. Don't let me down.
Sì, ho capito.
Tommy, if you bump into Watkins, don't kill him.
I can
Just bring
handle
down
harassment. I'll fight creditors, stop garnishment, foreclosures,
Buona fortuna,
and repossession of your vehicle. You have rights. But doing nothing changes nothing.
Tommy Elliott. Piacere di conoscerti.
Meraviglioso.
Live, local, now. This is WSFA 12 News at 6.
Welcome back. I'm Mark Bullock. We're glad you're here. The latest now from Nashville, where authorities and the rest of the nation were shocked by a Christmas morning explosion. It was likely a suicide bombing, we're hearing now from investigators. An RV parked on a historic street in downtown Nashville exploded. Daryl Fortress in the city now with the latest.
I don't speak Italian.
Destruction stretching an entire city block. Authorities are piecing together a Christmas Day explosion in downtown Nashville.
No plan? Yeah, the boss told me. Please, understand? Entriamo dal labirinto senza farci sentire né vedere. La cassaforte dietro un dipinto al primo piano. Dammi un po' di tempo e lascia fare tutto a me. Quella cassaforte avrà sicuramente una larva.
Authorities are looking at a number of individuals, but haven't identified a suspect or person of interest. Residents said they heard what sounded like gunshots a few minutes apart, followed by an eerie pre-recorded message from outside.
I'm finna play my football game with you in a minute. Oh no! Why do you say that, Way?
You gotta keep safe. Safe. See, is my job.
Why you say that?
Cassaforte. Open safe. Christ.
You want me to do a chef out in my football game?
Okay. Radio. Let's listen to the radio.
And since that report has been filed with...
You want to do it right now, or you want to wait till I get through this Mickey?
Has been developed by investigators, and they in fact visited that person's home late this afternoon. They believe that a Google image search showed that exact RV parked outside that home in May of last year. The investigation continues.
This is a long way.
A volte questo paese è stupendo.
Back here at home, we'll talk a little bit about the rest because, as we mentioned at the top of this newscast, we are bracing for a third night of sub-freezing temperatures. WSFA First Alert Meteorologist Lee Southwood joining us with a quick look. And Lee, this is the third time we've had to deal with this in just 3 days.
Entriamo da lì.
We all know the drill. You have to bring pets inside, you check up on your neighbors, cover up any sensitive plants, but once again, we are down into the 20s overnight tonight. Now, not there quite yet. The temperatures are rapidly falling. A lot of us now starting to fall down into the 30s. So you can see that here, where most of us do pop up in the 30s. Some of you still hanging out in the 40s and in the 30s shortly. And as I mentioned, from here, we will continue to fall past the freezing mark, down into the 20s, upper 20s for a lot of us, middle 20s for some of you. So a very, very cold start to our Sunday. However, tomorrow will be warmer than today, and you might actually notice the warm-up because we're talking nearly 10 degrees warmer. I think a lot of us will get close to 60 degrees. And Mark, if you asked me a couple of weeks ago if I thought the 60s sounded nice and warm, heck no. But now I am excited for it. The warm-up doesn't stop there, though. We'll get even warmer by the middle of the week. More on that coming up.
All right, Lily, thanks a lot. We'll see you in a few minutes. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris shared a little bit of her childhood talking about Kwanzaa and other stories on the official Biden-Harris presidential transition Twitter page.
Be the person you want to be and do the things you want to do and do the things that need to be done. It's about not letting anyone write our future for us, but instead going out and writing it for ourselves. And that principle motivates me today as we seek to confront the challenges facing our country and to build a brighter future for all Americans.
Harris shared that her favorite part of the Kwanzaa principle is the one about self-determination. Well, here's a peek at tonight's Absolutely Alabama. It's coming up next.
You've been caught up in the hustle of the holiday season. This is your opportunity to stop and reflect on the reason for the season. This is Coleman's Ave Maria Grotto, and it is Absolutely Alabama.
It's Happy Honda Days at your Honda dealers. Everybody's favorite holiday clearance. In your last chance to get low 0.9% financing for 60 months on winter-ready CRVs and 8-passenger pilots. Or drive off in a new HRV starting at just $189 a month. So put a smile on your face.
Oh, you know what game you need to get on the channel fix?
Honda in your driveway. Deals end January 4th. Hurry to McConnell Honda or Long
You do that game you need to get on channel fix?
Put more food on your holiday table for less. Shop your Langley family of associated groceries this week.
You need to get the other game on. What the game name? I got it too.
5 shells regular and deep. 2 count, 2 for $4. Farm fresh bunch of collard. Get 2 for $6. Shake portion, $1.59 a pound.
You said what we won?
Flat pack $16.99. And fresh fire leg quarters of the 10.
Now go pick a game.
Wishing you the best of luck. Your Borderlands and Able
Send me a packet of it. I said, send me a pick of the game you got.
And all your dreams take flight. Visit your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today for exceptional lease and financing offers at the Mercedes.
I said, let me see, cause it may be on that Go Easy.
It's made for this guy.
It's different.
Honorably served, and it's made for her. She's serving now. We made it for all branches and all branches, whether they serve one quarter or a career. We also made USAA for
what we want
spouses and their kids. And USAA is easy to work with. You can save you money on insurance. Today, call us for a quote. USAA, which are made of for people.
Oh, that game. That game free anyway. That game free.
St. Bernard's Abbey in Cody, but for 85 years in the life of the grotto, there has never been Christmas lights. Now the entire grotto is alive with the lights of the holiday season, making this year a perfect time to visit the site, which is known around the world. It's absolutely Alabama.
It ain't like that.
Brother Joseph started
it's all right,
these ministers probably in the early part of the 20th century. He didn't see any of them except for about 3 or 4 of the structures that are here. Most of them we just saw postcards, pictures, and magazines.
Oh, World Company?
And basically became probably the greatest folk artist.
You mean World Company?
This has been a year unlike any other, but you still have an opportunity.
I got it too. We can pay together.
Christmas unlike any other. Stop. See the sights and listen to sounds of the iliwaynwebbie rocket.
We thought, this has never been written back not in the 85-year history of the grotto. We decided this year to do it again, make the annual event. Really want to make this something real special. For the next Christmas, we're going to have it up on the 26th, the 30th, and 31st, starting at 4 p.m. It's open at 9 p.m. The gift shop is open as well, so we'd love to have people come and just experience Brother Joseph's work at night.
And what would Brother Joseph think about his creation presented in such a way?
It wasn't really about him, it was about God. He wanted people to experience the awesomeness and the wonder of God. So anything I think that would bring that out in people, I think he would really appreciate and really enjoy. It's a place where you can come and you can really feel the Christmas spirit, what it's really about.
Well, Christmas present is almost Christmas past now, but there is still time to stop and reflect on the meaning of the holiday season. The iliwaynwebbie rocket is a place unique.
Well, what game you talking about?
And it is activity all about.
As you heard, it's tonight and the 30th and 31st if you want to make the trip to Coleman and see those lights before the end of the year. If you're sitting at home tonight, here's what you see on WSFA 12 News following this newscast. You can watch Ellen's Game of Games. At 8 o'clock, you can watch an episode of The Wall, then stick around at 9 for a special edition of Saturday Night Live, and finally, we'll be back here for more news on WSFA 12 News at 10. Still ahead here at 6, with control of the Senate coming down to those twin runoffs in Georgia, Republicans and Democrats all over the country are campaigning in the Peach State. And First Alert meteorologist Lee Southwick is back for the forecast looking into your new year.
It's been almost a year, and while we've treated many with COVID-19,
I'm finna talk like him, Way.
It's still here. The cases are increasing. When you add food engine, you know our job.
I'm finna talk like him.
We're continuing to do all we can for you and our community.
And we're all in this.